Alrighty, folks, welcome. We have another Mafia Universe Turbo commentary game here, and it is a Rand game called Rand Close Random Tenor game. These have been a lot of fun. Kudos to Benny for making this up. Our player list for today: Akane, Bottom, Clouds, Jess, Manny, No RC, Pingers, Rick and Spartan, Transcend, and Tutter. So a great player list for us to hear today. We start with these 14 posts. Manny coming in hot, right? With the villager to this Rand, and he's the type of guy that you expect to come early, gonna have a lot of hyper posting, a lot of action quick and early. And I'm very excited to see how this game goes and kind of see how this game progresses. I think it's going to be one where a lot of people are going to be tuning in to watch. We call these our primetime games, and I think a lot of people are looking to this. I'm going to be joining this spec chat as well. Actually, I'm in the Discord, but got to join the DVC, and there we go. No one else is here besides Benny, Mopo, Turby, and Sappy. Wow, so surprisingly, Sappy always here in the DVCs, but doesn't really chat as much. And Naruto doing a little fish face. How can I rend it? Votes Manny. Okay, you have to be Mafia this time. And Jess already hoping for Manny to be Mafia. And Bottom says, WTF, I'm the Lost Wolf Inventor. Having fun as always. Full tryhard villagers rise up. I haven't actually seen Pingers full tryhard, but I'm excited to see if he is a villager to tryhard. It's always fun to see players play to their maximum strength, and I think hopefully we'll see that from Pingers regardless of his alignment. And Manny says, okay, you call me .gif. I wonder what that .gif is. Akane says, nah, so Akane just gonna be chilling. That's actually kind of a towny moment from Akane there. I think she kind of morally wants to like kind of fit in or try harder, but I think her kind of like just denying that and like nah, chilling is kind of towny for Akane actually, and I kind of like that to start from her, and that is really good stuff that we're seeing early. Pingers, Omgas, check, votes, Manny. I don't know why he quoted as an Omgas, checking out weird. Bottom said, wait, he said Villager, but he always says that. There's no difference. What the is an Omgas check? And no RT voting Recon Spartan this until it flips. Set, oh mama. I'm just having fun on the stage of my hills. It's where I belong, down at the Pink Pony Club. And look at that, her dancing set, really showing up those moves. That is some high-tech form. Look at that. Puts the boot on top of the shelf. Rises up with the one hand down. That is fantastic. Dancing by Tutter. And here is Jess. He said it with less enthusiasm than last time. I don't even know how you can term it that. It's literally the same word in the same context. And giggled. Oh, and Matt says a bit busy. No, you are a bit busy indeed playing this game of Mafia. Pingers, it's checking if you omgas me or not, and you didn't. Sus. Oh, that is a good play from Pingers. I like it being very reaction test. Already we see Pingers kind of dialing in and kind of just shoehorning things, kind of messing around, feeling the air and the threat, and I kind of like that immediately. Really good start. Tutter flush emoji. Akane Wolfie, feeling Wolfie from Set already, and yeah, Set is having fun, but that is not Wolf indicative as we've seen in the past, and we can just cue the old video of when I wrongfully accused her. And Rick and Spartan, here we are here. In my mind, I like reverse it. And Manny says, "Oh, sorry. Next time I'll summon you into a day one. Hope you can forgive me." That's kind of weird. Bottom says true. Dial 999 for a good time. Akane says Wolf, Fee to Recon, Spartan, and I think Akane is a villager, but we'll see how good her reads are. Sensing, I don't know. Artsy, this is kind of towny. We are here. Pinger says, so Tutters is probably a villager here, guys. Interesting read from Pingers. And Clouds Chapel Roan is pretty town core Russ. So Clouds knows the names. I don't even know who that is, to be honest. So kudos to Clouds for knowing that. Kind of good stuff. Rick and Spartan, I just turned in my chem assignment. Unfortunately, I love PDF.com. Doesn't have image to PDF, bruh. So I had to change it into a Word document to submit as a PDF to bruh. Wow, so this guy had to go into his Word document and do export as PDF. That is something old school. And Seth says, oh, also confused by the suspicion on Rick and Spartan. Akane, you wolf. And you know what? I take it back. I was gonna tolerate Seth, but then she's saying Akane wolf, and that was like a weird line. I thought she would actually try to convince Akane that Rick and Spartan is town. See, that's the difference, right? Usually Mafia try to deflect and place a suspicion. I'm not saying Seth is Mafia, but if she is, she's kind of using a tactic instead of defending Rick and Spartan, instead of explaining why she is Rick and Spartan town. Instead, she's trying to do the opposite and push, Akane for committing Rick and Spartan. So we'll see how that goes. Manny, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doctors. Oh, I claim Vanilla Villager, and that's a bad play there by Rick and Spartan, but regardless, it is kind of towny, but you just don't want to claim Vanilla. I mean, you could very well be pure, but, it's just one of those things where you don't want to claim VT. especially in a close setup. Akane says no 3P. That is a pretty funny result. I still think Akane feels kind of towny, but yeah. Oh, and look at that, Jessica Hesika. I think Akane is towny again because she melded with me over something small, and that is kind of a towny, thing to say. No artsy voting clouds. Good times, happy days are here again. I feel like this is a game where I'm gonna scum read. No artsy, no artsy is gonna probably be town. So like we'll just see how that goes. Transcend volume clear. That's actually a good read from Manny. Or that's not a good read. Actually, that's a towny read from Manny, especially because we know Transcend, right? He's the type of person that likes to post a lot as Mafia, and him kind of being very low energy and just chilling is kind of indicative that he doesn't have much as a role to play and start, and that's a good good for him. Pingers Sport has his usually towny flavor on that. I doubt he'd have as scum. So it seems like several people are already touting Rick and Spartan. And says checks out. That's weird. Oh, and Ovo with the eyebrows, the dark stare from Akane, looking deep in the soul of Manny, wondering what he is thinking. And classes kind of want a town resetter, but it's partly for ego reasons that I also like to post song lyrics when I get that refreshing green rand and feel free. Clouds, not this time. That only works for 0. Okay. Wow, look at bottoms reads. Just V, Mana V, Step V, Pingers V, Akane V, bad reasons. That's actually probably a towny line. Rick Sparta, I don't know. Tron Twend, I don't know. Clouds, Lost, Wolf. Manny, where are your song lyrics? I can definitely see Clouds is kind of wolfy here. Uh-oh, Clouds, are you wolf? Uh-oh, and yep. Pingers kind of pushing for that read, and I did think that was kind of scummy from Clouds. Like, for the ego reasons, Clouds is not the type to ego read someone, and that's already kind of a pinger. And I'm not talking about pingers, I'm talking about pinged from Clouds. And Transcend copies in 999. And just already feels this is wolfy for him. And yeah, I mean, look, I only think the towny thing from this is Akane be bad reason, but we'll see how Bada presents. Reckon Spartan vibe check, Akane passes. So right now, I'd say Reckon Spartan and Akane are good townies. Pingers feels like he's V, and I'm just going to have that to the side. But I think Reckon Spartan and Akane are the towns. I would kind of take that to the core. Let's catch up here. We're kind of behind Clouds. The first part, but I'm not only referencing to this game, just in general. Akane says, wow, I tell me no one except Jess, who's probably a wolf. This is so towny. I don't even think Jess feels towny. Feels scummy per se. I think she's making good reads. She's making good enough contributions and not doing too much, right? This thing, Jess isn't try-harding as much as I would expect if she's Mafia, and she does feel kind of towny. Her interactions with Manny and kind of afterwards, some of the reads, like the one on Akane, felt good, and she's not doing too much, but I think she feels chill. Yeah, again, Nortzy voting bottom. I think that's actually a good vote from Nortzy. As I said, it's just so hard to read him, but I think Nortzy is probably going to be town, but probably someone that I would scum read. And yeah, just as good post. I mean, I did it last game as VT, so it would be easy to replicate as Wolf. But also, okay, this is kind of time from Seth for saying this, because I don't think she tries to discredit a read on her, unless she's exactly with Clouds. Pinker says, just Manny reads on each other. Matt says, SARS lost internet, but we're back for a bit. And Matt is back. You can have wrong reads if you don't have reads. If I know, vote Akane. Wow! And Seth voting Akane. That is a little bit of a weird thing that we're witnessing, because usually Seth can, I think, at least read Akane well, and Akane just doesn't feel scummy. And that's kind of a ping vote. And Pinger is also body forgot artsy, I think. I assume he's no. Clouds, now just awkward read. I don't believe him much and I'm hesitant. Okay, but I need some food on the table. Okay, maybe Clouds is trending. Maybe, but not this time. I voted him as a joke, but I am mildly pinged by him actually. Okay, not bad. Yeah, okay, Transcend voting tutters. Matt always just votes said it's hilarious. Something more substantial, Pingers is town. Okay, that's actually a good read from Clouds. I could see that. Matt Clouds, how can I POGGs? Wow, that is kind of concerning from Seth, though. I do not like that. Oh, and she's immediately climbing back on Transcend, fighting the scum raid. Yeah, I'm not dealing with Wolf Matt pushing me again. Find a new missile and target popper. There's immediate Omgus too. This is crazy. We're just gonna catch up on this because I feel like I'm missing so much, and then I just gotta come up to what's going on. And here we go. Don't hang me day 1, hang me day 2. I'm low hanging fruit. And whoa, wait, this is kind of concerning. Reckon Spartan usually feels very entitled. I'm surprised he's kind of giving up here, and he's someone that has been somewhat polarized. Okay, never mind. It is what it is. Well, Manny somehow became top wagon. Just on votes Manny. Well, I'm obvious town. I reckon it's obvious town, so you're out of it, I think. Oh, and Matt says this one. Is Matt also voting Akane? Oh, Matt is... No. Matt is voting Seth, so I think he feels that one scummy, maybe. Tutter and Akane are my only real town so far. Wow! That is a crazy town list to have, especially the two people that are pushing each other. It's just such an interesting perspective for Jess to have, and I feel like if she has that, she would be a little more concerned, no? And it says, okay, Spartan probably town too. Okay. Maybe it is Jess, is what Pinger said. Frank Spartan at Tunners by my obvious town. Okay, so this is Town from Brick 20. He's actually questioning the town reads that he has extra strength here. Why you town read those two buffoons? Wow. Rick and Spartan, yeah. Okay, only time read artsy. Akane voting clouds. I still think Akane V, but I wouldn't bet the game on it. Okay. Don't know, just got pinged by it. I think Manny, Stet, maybe Matt might be a good place to look at. I don't know. I just feel like that pool has to contain those Mafia. Clouds, Pingers, Stet, Reckon. Maybe plus Akane as well. It's interesting that people like Clouds and Jessica have had Akane and Set as V. And if you have those two V, you got to kind of fight for that, right? Because they're kind of going against each other a lot, and it feels kind of troubling. I think Manny might be the good vote here. And if Jess is Town, I could definitely see Manny's Mafia. I feel like if you're Town, you're mostly incorrectly reading Matt V. Also, I know this is a double vote, but consider me doubling down for my previous meme vote. Oh, that is kind of scummy though, trying to justify your meme vote and make it like as if it's more of an. I don't know. I just. Oh, that is a little pingy, but we'll see how that goes. I turned Akane for my mom first, but she had a townie interaction to me tolerating her. Yeah. That was the post that Jess called out, where she felt that Akane was kind of just feeling that Jess is her only town, but also scum because of that. Seth just feels less awkward than what I've seen from her as Wolf. Fair enough. Weird progressions, MIO from Clouds. I didn't actually check out Mudford's progressions, but that is okay as well. He's kind of in the null townie, but yeah. Hard game, Matt Wolf. Yeah, that is a good read from Akane. Yeah, Akane feels very tiny. Rep Clouds, I won't do anything to do. Oh, Manny V, bro, I got one read and you want to tell me it's wrong? Go away, leave me alone, Limfow. And Manny onto Pingers, and bam! Voting onto Pingers, we got a back-to-back there. We got to catch up 17 posts. How so quoting? RT, what's your issue with my clouds, Matt? How can I POE? Which one of them should I sub out for you or your partner? This is crazy. Lightly town reading Pingers as well. Jessica is actually having good perspective. I do like it. I do like her so far. Oh, but Rabbit pinged me earlier. He said, I'm pinging you to say Clouds is obvious, Wolf. And you know, Rabbit, I'm starting to feel like Clouds actually might be Wolf. He only had a couple of takes. It's less actually, and like he's having a lot of V reads. Like we talked about just having the V read, he elaborated, but Clouds didn't really elaborate the Akane Set V reads. And when you talk about the way Akane and Set were going at each other, you gotta kind of help compress it, or at least kind of present a little more important figure. And I just feel like Clouds didn't really do that. And here he is voting Manny. Wow. And Clouds on to Manny, and I think if Manny is V, it looks really bad for Clouds. Wow, Norty actually Mafia this time. And here we go. Seth says F no. Unvote Clouds and let her ran, please. And the Seth says F no. I think you had Akane as immediate POE, and then agree that Akane likely V. So bottom is also down for pushing on the same Clouds. Matt goes up to Clouds. Pingers votes on the Transcend. Manny, why are you tyrant Matt here? Set, I see, I scummy both wagons, kind of. So Matt and Manny being pure would surprise me, but Manny town reading him is worse than Matt himself as Ben. Here we go, Narson. And it is 3 votes on Cloud. 3 votes on Cloud, 2 on Transcend. And it is refresh. It is on to Clouds. Bottom to sorry if wrong. There's no reveal. Where's the flip? There is no flip. Oh, there it is. The refresh. And Clouds is a villager. Oh my god. And just like that, Clouds, the season 11 champion, has just died. And Flip Villager and to Rabbit said, I am picking you to say Clouds is obvious Wolf. How about obvious Town? How about obvious Town? Wow. What a crazy day. What and how that went on. That was very tight. I mean, talk about the difference between Clouds and Transcender. It kind of remained throughout the day. And look, I think I would just kind of kill Matt now. I think that's just kind of my immediate POE. And Set is also concerning. I think bottom was kind of towny, but I think Matt, Manny, Stet, and maybe no Artsy, but you know, it's just one of those things where it's hard to get a feel of what's going on. But this seems like it's going to be a game where Mafia are going to dominate, but then I think Town might make a step, but then Mafia ultimately winning. But yeah, and Rabbit says, okay, to be honest, I wonder if you're just awkward telling later, but I'm not reading every post. And a massive day one, right? I didn't really expect the Clouds wagon to occur when it did, and it just seems so, static at the time. But yeah. And we'll be on break for a minute while we let all this simmer. And there's no timer for the night. There it is. Yeah, 2 minutes and counting. 2 minutes and 15 before we see the death. At least a good thing for Town is that Clouds is vanilla. So there was no impact there. And you have a lot to solve off now based off his reason what he had. And I think Pinger's probably town after this. I think Matt Wolf stocks go up tremendously. I think Set is also up there. I think No Artsy as well potentially. But again, No Artsy feels like one of those that you would scum read, but it's probably going to be Town and Manny I would throw in there as well for scum equity. Wow, what a game we've been having. And I just want to say something. I think the way that Town have kind of been playing this game has been really good in terms of how active they've been. Right. I mean, we've seen a lot of people active. These are wagons where Mafia got to be on their heels or on their toes, right? Because there can be an opportunity for them to get wagon anytime, right? How close these are. I mean, this is effectively over half the player list, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, and so the odds of there being at least one or two Mafia here in the vote, regardless, is somewhat high. And so if you're Mafia, you got to be very careful on that, right? So it's very volatile wagons that can cause some disruption, and one swing of the votes to the other can change the course of the game. Anyways, put more votes on clouds, in my opinion, feels frozen. This is a really bad read from Matt, and now I'm thinking if this is like a Towny bad read from Matt or just a Wolfie bad read from Matt, but I don't think Matt instead are Wolf either. So that is something to keep in mind, right? I don't think Matt and Set are Wolf. So I'd look at Manny, Artsy, having at least one, I think. And if not, then the game is just scuffed. If Manny and Artsy are both VV, then you're gonna end up with like a team of like Jess plus one, and you just don't have a chance. Or it's like Set Matt and they both, did a really good job of kind of like fake pushing each other and stuff like that. But yeah. And Cloud also mentions that making her nervous. And yep, here we go. Oh, you got massive plays! Massive! So huge! Reckon Spartan! We talked about Reckon Spartan not clubbing vanilla, and he was indeed faking. It was pure good job to Reckon Spartan. He died. He was the Oracle, and he put it on Transcend and Transcend Town. That is actually huge because now it consolidates both wagons. It gives everyone the ability to reorganize their perspective and solve around Matt V. So now again, I'm looking at Stet, right? We talked about Stet Matt not being Wolf. We had that read and that we're glad we're there. I put more pressure on Stet. I put more pressure on Manny, No Artsy. If those three are clean, then this game is already over. But yeah, damn, they really killed the Oracle. Pinger says LOL. Matt says Manny says sick clean. Tutter says no Artsy. And that's good actually. I like Set pushing Artsy there immediately. That's really good. No Artsy, bam, to pot up. Akane voting Manny. Just says lol duh. And look, here's the thing. Manny's read on Matt could be read as potentially TMI, and Matt says calm the F on. And he seems really tilted. I don't know why Matt is so pissed off. Maybe he's a second PR, but regardless, Matt just seems really fed up. But I think, in fact, this was good that he was revealed Town, especially when you look at the wagons, right? Clouds versus Matt, and Matt was also voter on Clouds, and it just clears a lot, right? And so it puts more pressure onto Manny, really, I feel, based off the way Manny was reading Matt, and potentially could be TMI. Bottom says night one, Transcend V, and sets a sick check. Pinger says her oop. And Akane voting Tutter, and Manny says kind of rejected. Said, I told you your POE's one of three at best. And see, so this is what I'm talking about. These are the posts from No Artsy that, look, No Artsy hasn't had as much in the game, but these are the kind of posts where you just kind of micro town read, right? It's one of those aggressive posts, kind of like, ha, in your face, I told you so, now follow me. And that's kind of why I mentioned No Artsy feels like you would scum read them, but they're probably going to be town, and we'll see what Kanbasa's got up the sleeve. And said saying you did, and I asked you how you knew that, and you ignored me. Now Seth all of a sudden is feeling that No Artsy's potential TMI, but the way they're going about it is kind of funny. Manny voting Pickers, I still think they're Wolfie. Good look, and Manny does feel very Wolfie here. No Artsy calls Wolf onto, and here we go. No Artsy and Pingers going bam bam, and this is what we talked about. No Artsy and Pingers are two players that are familiar with each other, and now all of a sudden this might be a Wolf dynamic, and we talked about No Artsy feeling town here. Does this implicate Pingers now? It's just weird though, because Pingers was town from Clouds, and Pingers did feel kind of towny, but damn, this is crazy. And Matt, this is some grade A effing BS. And I don't know why Matt is so upset. I mean, look, he loves getting kind of making the reads and doing the right thing. But I'm just a little confused why he's upset with it. It's a good clear, and maybe unless it's PR, but otherwise, I think it's a good clear for the game and for everyone from an outside perspective, analyzing VV Wagons, the top ones, and also not being tinfoiled on Matt. And I do think Manny is feeling more Mafia though. Unless Pingers is town, unless Pingers is Mafia, it's a good look for Manny. But I just think the way he's going on Pingers just feels so weird, especially with Clouds there. And bada bam onto Norty, and there we go. A little bit of gussing there. And it's just as Norty strongly talented in reaction to being pressured last game. And this game, his reaction to pressure makes me Wolfried him more. And Jess's conviction or kind of focus on Norty does feel kind of towny, but I don't know. We talked about Jess's Wolf game, right? She likes to focus on one target and kind of push them all the time, and I am worried the lack of breadth from Jess in terms of her developing reads elsewhere, so I want to see how that goes, but definitely if no RT is talented, it is a bad look for Jess, undeniably, and I think, when you look at people like Manny, who she pinged out early, but didn't really push as much, and kind of dropped the read, that could be a potential Wolf partner, right? If we talk about if Manny's Mafia, which is one of those things you got to understand, and even with Pingers, right? She's pushing on no RT, but not really focused on Pingers, who no RT is pushing, right? So it's just kind of one of those things. And Pingers is understandable. Cloud's a great player though, and he had me as so that's something I think you should take into consideration before making a vote like that. And that is kind of one of those things where you're like, ha ha ha! I told you. Tutter says, Benny, please give Matthew the cashew lessons on stat reading so we can get along one day. And Bottom says Matt could be Godfather TBH. Manny says understandable, but Clouds also thought I was a different check with Matt, and I know for a fact that we aren't. So, and Manny making the reads trying to deflect, which is fair from his perspective. And Bottom says, okay, I believe you. Bottom already in voting no arts, so clearly does that. How does Oracle work? Is it random or reckon picks? Clearly it's reckon picks. I don't know what Manny's thinking there. Manny, what are the odds of Godfather being in the game? It doesn't matter. It ran. Oh, actually, I guess it technically could be Godfather, but whatever. Set says it rans if you don't select the target, though. Jess says, don't really think it's Akane or Pingers or Tutter. And this is kind of huge, right? We talk about the Pingers and Tutter. Obviously, Stat I'm like somewhat unsure of. I think Manny's stuff with the kill today, but I think this is a good period from Jess. I would want to see Jess focus on Manny, or at least have the more breath reads around there on the scum reads. And Bottom, I don't think there is one calling the Godfather. And Stat adds that Manny says every wolf has a standalone 10% chance to run as Godfather in addition to the rest of its role. So what that means is, right, every wolf has its own 10% independent chance to rank Godfather, whatever their role may be, right? So 10% for each wolf, essentially. North is to kill everyone on my wagon, obviously, never fails. And, well, who would that be? That would be Stet, Jess, and Bottom. I'm down to lose if we hit 5% chance, not gonna lie. Matt Town, Set Town, and maybe Bob Fee, but low confidence, I'm kind of pocketed. So here we go. This is kind of a slower day, right? I mean, there's a lot more info on the table here, but we just expect a little bit more from these players, and especially, right, when you have that VV wagon solve, you have Matt, who is somewhat almost pseudo-cleared. You want to see a little more action, a little more cohesiveness, and a little more resolving in the immediate PoE, and I feel like it narrows down to targets and should make it easier. But let's see here. Picker says, I'll just hear Artsy's worldview out because why not? And Artsy says, I'm okay with hammering early as long as you kill everyone in my wagon. Promise me that. Artsy, now would be a swag time for you to IC claim. And said, that's a really weird poster by Stet. I just don't know why she's like asking for an IC claim if she's come reading Artsy. It feels like she's almost anticipating it. And then no votes to Artsy. So all of a sudden, Stet puts pressure onto Artsy and no votes. Stet says, I'm town, so not going to do that. So do you actually wolf reach Justin? But see, this is kind of weird from Stet, right? Because even if Stet obviously from Set's perspective, she knows she's town, but if she's pushing no Artsy, you're kind of worried of them flipping town, right? Otherwise, you would, if you feel that they're Mafia, you don't care what their kind of, their bandits or their gambits are, right? Because at the end of the day, if they flip Mafia, you're going to be fine. So Set kind of unvoting there kind of displays some sort of wariness of them flipping town, which I'm not really sure Set really vocalized throughout the game with the way they had been pushing onto no Artsy. And Manny says probably one in you and Akane. Manny onto Pingers, yes, there's probably one in you and Akane and one in RC SPF. I can see you plus SPF working, maybe, which is actually a good perspective from Manny, right? We talked about earlier from the get-go. SPF's narrow focus onto RC is their main wolf read, and really, I mean, obviously they time Pingers later, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, it could very well be SPF and Pingers, and with the way that SPF has been pushing Pingers, and we talk about the Pingers and no RC dynamic, it's just one of those things that you have to be a little bit more aware of kind of those friendship dynamics, and when one of them scumbers the other, it is very likely that one of those other players is, indeed going to be the Mafia because of that dynamic, but regardless, just gotta focus on that a little bit more. And Manny says probably one. Yeah, we talked about this one. Akane says this sure looks like one of my Wolf games, but I am in town surprisingly, and that's just because of the way the game's been going. And yep, just says I don't like this post, and that's good. So we like this from just kind of pinging out the Manny post. Let's see if Jess will. Yeah, and Jess no unvotes, no artsy, and now he's just gonna go into Manny now because Manny feels very scummy. And Bottom says, okay, Matt isn't actually telling him out. This is such a weird line from Bottom where it feels kind of like anti-spew, but like for no reason, right? It's like pushing Matt despite him getting oracled and only the 10% chance, right? It's just a very odd, low chance. Now just picking Akane, who's your POE? And Bottom says, WTF. Manny says, well, I don't like you. And yeah, Bottom kind of took exception to Manny saying, I don't like you too, Jess. And Seth says, to be honest, Bot could be a wolf. I don't know. Matt is frozen crying in green check chat. Seth says, I can't read Bot in turbos as well, and that's obnoxious. And that's kind of weird, though, because Seth's usually a good reader on Bottom in general, but it's weird that how turbos kind of are her kryptonite there on attempting to read Bottom. And here we go. Pinger saying, just Manny contains one, RT Bottom contains one, unless RT Bot is two. That's kind of a weird thing to say, but alright. Just kill someone, they will flip town, whatever. This kind of games has to be solved at F5. I don't think Akane is wolf, but might need to reread that tomorrow. Just as the main thing preventing him from being able to town reboot is that he feels towny. In a wolfy way. Interesting. Oracle revealed me as VT. It's often possible. Bottom says Manny blinks at Akane's thing about flipping town and having the game solved in F5. Says everyone. Narcy said blatantly wrong Pingu, just Manny is 2Vs. Oh, it says blatantly wrong Pingu, just Manny is 2Vs. So Narcy is actually time reading both Jess and Manny. It says bot Manny game. Asking if they're both Mafia, and I would actually go into Manny here to be honest. TBH. Just says wow to Akane saying everyone in the POE. I'm dumb enough to find that response from Akane Townie, and Jess still kind of tiring Akane. As I said, I do feel like Jess is kind of Townie, but at the end of the day, who's going to be Mafia, right? I mean, obviously, no Artsy maybe might not be right. One of those kind of misled eliminations, but I look at Manny, look at Pingers. I guess if Artsy's Town, look at. Because Manny Pingers is definitely max 1, right? So you kind of talk about that dynamic. So when you talk about that dynamic also being max 1, you kind of got to look at Stat or Bottom here. And this is all of Nortsy's Town, right? So, I mean, I think Bottom maybe has some wolf potential now, right? And Manny says, denied, I'm Villa. And Pingers says, so who's Bottom partner in your eyes? Nortsy says, am I talking to them? Yep. and Narty feels that his experience at Bottom. Now I'm kind of getting the feel that Bottom's wolf equity is Skyrise, and him kind of just focusing on Matt just feels kind of scummy for Bottom. Like, I get it that it felt like a refuge audacity thing, but it's like at some point he's oracled only maximum 10% chance. There's a bastard in play, and you just got to focus on the other players, right? There's a really good chance there's two outside man, and it just feels so weird the way Bottom's playing the game. Just as why do you wolf read Pingers? And especially in this type of game, you feel like Bottom would get pushed easily, but people are just not pushing on it, which is kind of weird, right? Because Bottom in this situation, the way he's playing the game feels very pushable. If he's Town as like an easy miselimination because he's playing it a really weird way. Manny says thinking of God for the Worlds right now is kind of wild, but also probably Towny. Kind of a mad read from Manny though, because it's just such a weird read to have, even if you're Town, right? It's like one of those things like, why would you have that as Town? Bob says, just imagine I have something interesting and insightful to say here and move on to the next post. Okay. And Pinger says, I think Manny might be more slippery as Wolf and not the death tunnel kind of guy, but not sure. He can live today. And voting Bottom, that's weird. I think Manny might be more slippery as Wolf and not the death tunnel kind of guy, but not sure. He can live today. And then voting Bottom, well. Plus, I didn't like his post in regards to the Cloud Wagons. Yeah. Why do you Wolf read Pingers? Manny says, I don't like his peeling. I feel like him telling me my mad read day one was wrong was hella agended. Yeah, fair enough. Pingers just solve RT Bottom in my opinion. I'd go Bot first. And Pinger is voting, trying to push Bottom, which is interesting. Matt says WTF, that's not how Oracle works on GG or EM. Yeah, Seth says that's not true. Lil Miller flips as Mafia to Oracle. God for the flips is Town. Yeah, I mean Matt just is Town. I don't know why we're evaluating this so much though. Akane says, are you actually Maf? Why the TF are you voting me? I don't know. Pinger's assessment of Manning just now feels pretty organic to me. And yeah, I mean, look, I think bottom is likely to be Mafia just based off the way this game's going. It just feels really lackluster. And okay, now ban voting bottom. That's one vote there. I'm just annoyed because I'm busy and I have to lead this game's. But I missed like 90 posts. Fair enough. Not gonna lie, it could be Matt. So good luck figuring it out. And bottom, yeah, bottom just feels really anti-spirit at this point. It just feels not too wolfy to be wolf, but it feels very wolfy, and I just kind of kill him at this point. But yeah. Manny is somewhat concerning, but Manny not with pingers and kind of Norty not with bottom, right? So it's just one of those things where if there's someone on the outside, just probably not Stead, Akane, right? So I just kill bottom here and go for the best. Princess, I could very well be wrong. Don't have enough experience with Manny. Just a death tunnel is suddenly town me. Wow, and all of a sudden, Pingers, when talking about Manny at his death tunneling it out, reversing. And you're saying, I think bottom is town, but since no one seems to agree with me, I'll just hope I'm wrong. Whatever. Yeah, that's a partner post from Manny. Could be Manny bottom there. Really weird. Okay, on voting bottom. And Seth voting no artsy. Just voting no artsy. Thing that I'm overthinking. Just not focusing on bottom is kind of concerning, actually, though I won't lie. It could be just bottom now. Akane says, I overthink that I'm thinking. Manny says, I do prefer Artsy over Bob at least. Wow, this is really weird. Manny just bottom is now all of a sudden just skyrocketing to me and just as deep. I mean, no Artsy again. I wouldn't be surprised if he's Mafia, but he had some posts like he did to set, which kind of feels tiny. But Artsy says, okay, Manny deserves death after bottom then. Wow. Yep. I think Artsy's going to flip town here, but don't Artsy all night. I'll even knife Fidge bot if you flip town in your honor. So Seth might be hinting at a PR. No Artsy. Akane voting Artsy for the cred. Manny says now that's just rude. And yep, no Artsy flip villager, right? So we talked about the way that no Artsy plays this game, right? No Artsy is kind of one of those players where, you know, you're just tempted to scum read them, but sometimes they play the game in a way that just feels like they're Mafia, right? And so, you know, it's you know, they feel Mafia, but they are town, and I'm glad I got their Artsy this time, right, compared to the other games. And so, yeah, I would look at Manny, look at bottom, look at Jess. Those are the players I would look at. Manny, bottom, Jess. If that's not the team, then I don't know. I mean, I just think bottom's contributions and mainly pushing on Matt is just so bad. And obviously with no Artsy flipping V, right, that was another one of bottom's, you know, pushes there. It is concerning. I think bottom needs to get resolved regardless, but you know, I would go into Manny. You know, I think Manny definitely needs to die. Manny, Jess also voting no Artsy there and not evaluating. And that's the other thing, right? We talked about Jess's full blown on narrow focus on Artsy is kind of a negative look. So Jess does deserve full scrutiny the way she treated, right? It was kind of narrowed on Artsy. Didn't really focus much on Manny. And not really as much on bottom either on the outside. And if either of them are Mafia, I just think that opens the door for Jess. And regardless, it's just not a good look for her. So I think Jess, Manny, and you know, just Manny bottom. You could throw Pingers in there as well. Obviously, you're talking about Archie's read there, but Pingers is not with bottom for sure. But if bottom is V, we can relook at Pingers, and obviously just Pingers is a team off the top of off the top of the head, right? We talk about the way Pingers V read Jess and Jess V read Pingers for his back off Manny and feeling he was authentic. But you know, I just think. And here's the thing, right? It's really tough to read bottom of this game because all he's done really was, well, he kind of Angus no Artsy, and then he called Matt V even after, or called Matt Wolf even after the Oracle check and kept kind of pushing at it, and that was kind of his main thing. And so, and now with no Artsy flipping V, it's like bottom has really nothing going for him. It just felt super weird how his wagon didn't grow, and you'd feel like he's such an easy miseliminatable target, and it just feels like you kind of just have to resolve him, and if he's V, it's like whatever, right? That's on him, right? And if it's Matt, kudos to him. But it's just one of those things where it just doesn't feel good from bottom. But regardless, right? Manny, Jess, bottom. I think Manny and just kind of ignoring bottom is itself a red flag. The way they kind of went at it and pushed Artsy over. We talked about both sides, so I'd be surprised if Manny and Jess are both pure at this point, especially when we're looking at Artsy's flip. Could be Pinger's bottom outside, but again, Manny and Jess, I mean, obviously Manny actually did vote Pingers there. He kept it there, but so yeah. I mean, if it's bottom Jess, that is obviously the only world in a Jess Manny V world. But yeah, I mean, but my order of operations would be bottom, and if bottom is V, then you just go Pingers actually, and you know, if bottom is Mafia, then you go Manny, Jess, you know, yeah, because I think if bottom is V, you gotta definitely take a closer look at Pingers based off, you know, how that day went. Could still be just Manny theoretically, but I think bottom, any combination of bottom, Manny, just Pingers probably contains the last two Mafia, I would assume. Obviously, we can probably deduce that Pingers and Manny aren't together, so probably the smarter play, right, would be is you kill Bob. If he flips V, you kill Jess, right? Because Pingers and Manny aren't together, they're never Wolf, so you know that there's maximum Mafia there, and if Bob is V, then, well, you're probably going to kill Jess, right? I mean, Seth feels Downy, Akane feels Downy, so just one of those things, right? And Matt has a very high chance of being Town, so I think you're looking at this, Bob, if he killed Jess, if Bob Mafia, you could still go just Manny and probably just clear Pingers, right? It's kind of how the game goes, and Manny just feels really wolfy. But yeah, Jess's play around no arts, he did feel generically wolfy, just an error of focus outside of that, and the viewers outside. But here we go, the knife phase ends, and wow! And Transcend, this is bizarre. Matthew the cashew was pure. We talked about why he was upset, and possibly, yeah, that could be the reason, but Town Inventor, he was a doctor and vigilante. Now, who gave the vigilante to? I don't know. Stet did hint that she would potentially have the, the Vig, but she claims it's not hers. Stet says, oh, well, someone has Vig and it ain't me. So I wonder who has Vig here. And obviously the doctor was given out as well. And I don't know why the doctor, if Matt gave out doctor, I don't know why they wouldn't save him. So I think Vig was given out night one, but Vig then wasn't used. So whoever was given doctor was probably Mafia then? Because otherwise, why aren't they using it on Matt? It's really bizarre. It says, unvote Manny Wolf could have Vig. Yeah. Wow. Pinger says, LOL. And Matt should have probably claimed who he gave Doc to or his targets potentially because I do think, here's the thing. If the Vig wasn't used last night, then it's safe to assume that the Doc was given night one. But if Doc was given night one, it should have been used on Matt, right? So if the Doc was given night one, it should have been probably used on Matt. Then why didn't the person with Doc use it on Matt, right? So it kind of is a bad look. And it kind of points to, it just alludes to the idea that the person with Doc probably is Mafia, and with Vig, I don't know why they're holstering, but yeah. If no one claims Vig today, I think we assume Mafia has it, right? Depends on PR. Well, set, it doesn't really matter, right? The two town PRs flipped, right? The Oracle already flipped and cleared Matt, which was PR, and then Matt was PR and died. But also, I blame this on Artsy. Why did he die? Bottom is just so Mafia, by the way. He hasn't been doing anything. I'm just so surprised he isn't getting any attention. Like, literally, what has he done? Alkane says it's Pink or just GG. Artsy was like my only timer from day one, by the way. That's why I was acting doomerish. Manny says, I don't got a bitch for the record. Seth says, we cannot sleep ever with unknown Mafia PR and a gun game. Yeah, never sleep. And that's a good play from him. I don't know, man. Manny just bought a Pingers, but Manny Pingers are never Wolf, right? Manny Pingers never Wolf, so Bottom just has to have one. And if that's the case, it's just such a toss-up, right? I mean, they both could be Mafia, but there has to be at least one in just Bottom based off what's going on. Just as, why didn't you mention that you town rate Artsy then? Seth says Pingers might have gun to BH. Wow, this is crazy. I think the person with gun should probably just claim here. But the person with dog should also probably claim as well. Just like, here's the thing, right? You want to make it clear how the actions were given, because regardless, if someone was given Doc night one, they're probably Mafia. They should have saved Matt. If someone has Vig, well, they didn't use it last night either, or they didn't use it on night one. Oh, sorry, they didn't use it on night two, which is just bizarre. But if they were given Vig tonight, right, then, well, you gotta use it the next time. But whoever was given Doc is also probably Mafia, because why not save Matt then, right? So, Bottas is probably Def Pingers, I think. Oh, yeah, Bottas is probably Def Pingers, I think. And here's the thing, right? We mentioned Manny and Pingers not Wolf together. I think Jess would be the safer kill then, because Jess could be with Pingers, Jess could be with Manny. The thing is, Bottom could definitely be with both, but it's like the way this game is going, it feels like Jess is a Wolfier one, right? In that sense, where like Jess could be with Bottom, but Jess could also fit with either Pingers or Manny, right? In that hypothetical. And Jess says, you're probably Mafia if you scummered me today, not gonna lie. That's kind of a weird perspective for Jess to have, given that her only read was on Artsy, who flipped town, and she doesn't really have any concrete perspective off that. It's just bizarre. Sets his time to check if the mofo softened anything. Oh, and Akane claimed the item. What was this? Akane claimed, oh, I got the item, but Matt gave me a doctor, WTF. So this is huge, right? Because that means Matt had given the Vig on night one, and that person didn't use Vig, right? So it's not Wolf indicative, but the fact that I haven't claimed Vig means Matt gave the Vig to someone who is likely a Mafia. Okay, so if we hit Moff today, Moff has gun, 2 NKs, F3. I think you should have kept that hidden, Akane, but it's fine. Oh, Vish is a night action. If I was sleep, I think now. Moth could have RB. Bro, we had 2 town PRs and we saw no sight of Mafia PR yet. They can easily have a double killing role, so let's not sleep, especially if we have someone with night vision. But the thing is, if see pingers, man, if you have night vision, man, you should have shot last night. That's the only thing I'll say. Just honor Arcee's read on bottom and just vote. Yeah, I mean for sure based off Arcee's claim, right? You just gotta go just bottom. You gotta mow them down. Just bottom Manny, right? I mean not Manny, but just bottom for sure. Pinger says, all right, janitor, cool. We know Moth has a janitor. What? We saw no sight of Moth PR yet. We know Moth has a janitor. I don't really know how that mechanics work, that Moth has a janitor, but let's see. Bottom saying, Jess, are you Mafia? That's a weird thing. I mean, Bottom was already thinking it was Jess and Pingers. I don't know why. Listen, he's like asking if Jess is Mafia. So if Pingers is Moth, it can only be with one of Akane instead. Tutters is down. Yeah, just kill Jess, man. This is such a bad POV to have. It's impossible I'm misreading. It's possible I'm missing Akane that the exact word world is Akane Pingers, but I don't really think so. Oh, the thing for me at the moment is Pingers Mafia. Who is he partnered with? I don't think he makes sense as Moth with Manny. I don't think he also makes sense as Moth with Boob. So if Pingers is Moth, it can only be with Akane. Oh, okay, I see. So she's saying like Pingers is town from that. And Manny says Pingers, anyways, back here, just killed today in my opinion. And here's the thing, Jess is town rating, but not pushing a solid like a scum raid, right? Like Jess feels really scummy today in my opinion, especially after the Nazi flip. It just you would feel like you would have more incentive. No, I kind of think you might be though. Yeah, so Jess might be positioning herself to bust a partner potentially here if she is, but yeah, this is just really scummy from just the way that she's playing today. We haven't actually read the chat to see who Matt gave the item to. Let's see if Matt said. He could have even given it to Redcon, but who did Matt? I was just baking on Mafia to... Oh, and Matt seemed to give the item... Wow. He gave the inventor to the Oracle. So the Mafia don't even have the Vich, which is the crazy part about this. Mafia don't even have the Vich, which is insane. Wow. In the world where it's just bot to your POV or bot Akane, where I mess with Akane, not gonna lie, if bot a wolf, Pingers V, I'm not a clown in the whole circus, but whatever. Manny, who is partner with Pingers in your opinion? Bottom says Wolfie posted arguably Wolf. Akane's pings Akane Set and Jess for Pingers and Manny. I don't know the way that Pingers and Manny. See, this is another bad read from Bottom. Like the way that Pingers and Manny have been going at each other. I don't know how you can feel that they're Wolf. Says his gun still hasn't been used as claimed though, which still implies Moth has it. Why is that post Wolfie? Jess Pingers overnight. Is it for sure a world? But is it correct? I don't know. Manny says, I assume you don't accept me saying you as a reply, so kind of. Bottom suggests, are you sure? Just as bad response TBH to Manny, and it's weird, like Jess doesn't have like a formulated read. She just feels really Mafia this game. I know that Jess can be really Townie's Mafia, but I feel like it's just one of those games where she just kind of rode the wave and just feels scummy overall. And like he's a wolf, like there's just nothing providing value to help Town at this point, honestly. And Akane not thinking speakers, Manny, this is just a really. We talked about, right? Mafia going to dominate the first 2 days. I think Tom might get lucky, kill Mafia, but ultimately lose in F3. Well, let's see. Many things right now, I think it's SPF plus Pingers, and if not, I'm probably wrong on Bottom. And just as I feel like it's Occam Razor suggests that this isn't the team. Okay, yeah. Pingers set, Jess Manny, and then Akane just going through teams trying to guess what the hell is going on. Just voting onto Manny now. Wow, that's huge. So just bam, onto Manny. This is an interesting turn of events, and from Mafia perspective, right? So let's think about this. Matt gave the gun to the Retcon, whatever, right? But from a Mafia perspective, they think maybe that Town, a live Town might have the gun, so they're going to be a little more careful and potentially not necessarily Power Wolf because they could get shot and could reveal a lot, right? Because it's even number 6. So if Mafia is here, they're being a little more careful. They don't want to speed him or anything. They don't want to risk getting voted, and also that means that they might, be bussing potentially, right, based on this situation. Bottom says, okay, I believe you. This is so weird, man. I mean, Bottom, what are you doing if you're Town, man? Manny, he's being pushed by the 2 people I think are wolves right now. I don't think he would have shielded me day 1 like he did as Wolf Guarantee, but that could be a pocketed Manny speaking. Huh. He's being pushed by the 2 people I think are wolves right now. I mean, that's just weird, right? Like why would they push at this point? Well, Bottom did Townie, which is confirmation was Hartel on Bottom and claimed strong read. Another solution, come on Town. But see, this is weird though that Pingers isn't evaluating like Manny or Jess at all, right? Like Jess Pingers is such a viable team, especially without Jess has defended Pingers throughout the game. Um, but yeah, I dislike his push on Pingers, and I think he would put more effort into trying to read me if he's down. Yeah, but Jess is just so confirmed Mafia to me at this point. Y'all are human with a human brain. Come on. Wow. Pingers feels kind of wolfy the way he's pushing at it. Pingers and then one in Justin Manny, I guess. Yeah, so this is good. Bottom is getting to a world that like you should be getting. Okay, now you're making me paranoid. Yeah, I think it's just Pingers actually. That was such a weird play. Just on what's Manny and then what's Manny? Yeah, it's just Pingers actually. The way that Jess is playing against Pingers is like defending and then jumping off when she shouldn't. Yeah, I think when you look at the North and Pingers dynamic, the way that North was coming in Pingers, I think that's good. I think Pingers just solely focusing on bottom right and not even Jess. That's why Jess also pushing North is kind of concerning because it just feels like Pingers is trying to eliminate bottom just alone from the legacy, and bottom could very well be Mafia. Don't get me wrong, but it's concerning that Pingers has just if left out the door of everything else, and I would kind of look at Pingers just as a result, right? Because Pingers bottom doesn't feel teamed with that Pingers going after bottom right now, which would mean, if Pingers isn't with Manny, Pingers are with the bottom. Pingers' only scum teammate, theoretically, right, could be Jess. So I would go Jess, and then Pingers, right? You don't kill Pingers here, you kill Jess here if you're looking for most optimal wolf based off potential teams. I'm just taking Set and Akane's town, but oh well. Set is Wolfie Af, but I mean, if Pingers is town, a wolf is on him, or they'd hammer. Where did she hard out? Bro, how can I hard out a little? It's him and bottom. What? Where did she out? Tutter, where's your head at? I'm just so confused the way that Jess is treating Pingers. Like, she's not... Like, Jess is also scummy because she hard focused on Akane. I mean, no, hard focus on no artsy. Then hasn't really had a concrete scum read. Just kind of, kind of hefty, touching, kind of... lightly treading, if you will, and it just feels like Justice Mafia here, and I don't really know. Regardless, man, just feels wolfy the way she's playing the game. And Pingers doesn't really have less teammates, right? We talked about it. His only potential partner is Jess, so I don't think Pingers is a good vote at all. Manny pushing there is also not good. Jess on votes Manny says, I don't know. Sorry, I over simp for just too hard and sheep her on the artsy vote. It's one of the dangers of doing business with the pink Jessica. See, bottom's supposed to be a good reader on just too. So this is just so weird what's going on. There's too many wolves, man. That's the thing. The town are just there's too many wolfy talents, and that's the issue. And now Pinger's saying Jess Tutter, come on, carry. Wow, Pinger's really going hard for bottom. Tutter, but at bottom, are you calling Jess Wolf? Damn, this is probably going to be a town L with me getting yeeted. I do think that Jess is probably the best kill, honestly, if I'm here. And Tutter going into bottom, bang! Wow! Set onto bottom. And if there's Mafia, I don't know if they quick hammered. We talked about this before, right? But from Mafia's perspective, they think that Mafia, or they think that the Vig might potentially be in a town, so they don't want to hammer and potentially out themselves, right? So you're being a little bit extra careful. Pingers, who is Mafia with bot? Give me one answer. Akane says just set. Akane is just rolling a slot machine and going through options. Bro, just said, if you guys want to vote in Akane Manny, good luck, lol, I'll follow, but bottom should die. I mean, I think bottom is like, as I mentioned, I'm not opposed to bottom dying. I think at this point, it's just, you kind of have to, like, kill the scummy people, and look, bottom's been scummy, Jess has been scummy, Pingers can only be with Jess, right? So you never kill Pingers, so you probably just kill Jess if you're killing Pingers. Just bottom. Manny doesn't, like, again, it's really weird. Oh, and Jess voting bottom here. Akane voting Jess. This is a huge play from Akane onto Jess. Pingers and Jess onto bottom. And see, it just feels so weird. But I think bottom or Jess is probably where I'd go. And it just feels such a coin toss where it's going. Bottom says, this is a Wolf Manny post. Pingers is a wolf, and I'll lose this for lack of third pull. Bottom, why aren't you self-pressing? Jess is bad vote, but I think you're probably town Niewe. Yeah, I mean, oh man, yeah, if Jess and Bottom were both V, this game is a lost game. But Bottom has also been really wolfy. He hasn't really, like, solved his push on Matt wasn't good, and it just feels very low life and stat onto bottom 3-1. Here we go. Bottom, that is gonna be Mafia. Bottom flipped town. Oh my god. And that's it. That is the game, and the Mafia are going to win. Wow. And you know, that's kind of a bottom, because he kind of, that game that day where he voted artsy and just kind of sat around scum reading Matt as well. It's a little frustrating, right? But you kind of had to. He was gonna get resolved regardless, and it's kind of ironic actually how Bottom ended up being no artsy. And I think from a Mafia perspective, they didn't want to hammer. They were kind of worried, but I think Bottom being town, right? You at this point, it just got to be just Pingers or something like that, right? Or it could be just Manny as well. But Pingers then would have had push button. We talked about that vote yesterday, right? But Jess is for sure Mafia after this. Jess plus one of Manny Pingers. Probably Pingers. I don't know the way Jess had been defending Pingers all day, but Manny could very well fit in there. Manny had actually been towering bottom, then ends up voting him and doesn't really care as much. So, Jess Manny is probable. Jess Pingers is also very probable, but you know, it just happens, right? Yeah. But yeah, I think Jess Manny is plausible. I think here's the thing: Pinkers also looks really bad now too when you just talk about like the vote and trying to get Botto killed and stuff like that. But obviously, it took so long that you're like, okay, if Pinkers is town, but we again talked about the Mafia don't necessarily want to sweep because like both of it together because then they could out potentially the word the Vitch is in Mafia's hands and they could get shot, right? So just one of those things. But I think Jess for sure Mafia. I'm just gonna lock in Jess Manny, although it doesn't feel right. I could very well see Jess Pingers, but I'm just gonna go with Jess Manny with the way that Manny kind of played this. Like he didn't fight for the scum read and ultimately voting a bot up there. Like, yeah, he towered bot up too, which is kind of weird. And like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just weird. But yeah, I think Jess Manny would be my two. I think, as we mentioned, Jess potential was setting up Manny in case she had to, and then jumped off when it was a bottom. But you know, it's just one of those things where, yeah, I think Manny's pushed her on bottom and not defending him or trying to get the Mafia out, right? In potential Milo situation, right? If Mafia Vitch, it just didn't feel like Manny felt like that, and I think Jess for sure Mafia and Matt and Manny probably the second, but we'll see. Pingers, I wouldn't be surprised if he's Mafia, as we mentioned. He was kind of in the PoE, but it's unfortunate Bottom kind of, you know, did that to himself, but it is what it is, and the game is in fact over. Akane dies, and the team, yep, is indeed just Manny. You know, I think this is kind of a lesson for town. You know, you need more cohesion. You need to work together more. And obviously, again, right, this is one of those anomalies where Pingers and No Artsy, they're really good friends going against each other. Pingers was incorrect. I mean, no, sorry, No Artsy was incorrect on Pingers because actually Pingers voted bottom, didn't even vote No Artsy, but No Artsy had no voted, like had been scum rating Pingers. But again, there was just, you know, you talk about this game, it was just a lot of lack of cohesion. And look, I'm watching this from an outside perspective, and we talked about it, right? We talked about Jess's push on No Artsy. Look, if No Artsy's Mafia, good look for Jess. But look, Jess talked about her wolf play, and she was just very narrow focused, right? We talked about the lack of breath reads. Her main scum read was just No Artsy. Tunneled entire day too. No Artsy flips town. What does Jess do? Jess kind of lays back, has a couple town reads, kind of like, you know, soft pushes out kind of a little bit, and then kind of bouncing between Manny, Bottom, and defending Pingers, but not really finding a concrete scum read. And look, the biggest thing that really pinged me was when Jess went to Bottom and said, Bottom, if you scum read me here, you're just Mafia. And that to me is just so ludicrous because Jess would not even think that from her perspective. You just came off a No Artsy tunnel who flipped town. And so to me, you know, when you come off that way, it's surprising that you would even think you're towny. And I just think, you know, I just think, you know, from an outside perspective, I just felt Jess was very scummy. I just felt, especially after the Nazi flip in hindsight and the way she was playing, obviously Jess has the ability to be more towny as Mafia, and we've seen that before, right? I've been fooled plenty of times, but I think this is one of those, yeah, this is a scummy game, and you can find it in Manny. His general played this game, right? His push onto Pingers is one thing, but also, you know, his play around Clouds and challenging Manny. We talked about the TMI play around there from Manny, just felt really odd, and also that last day, right? He didn't tend to scum read Bottom, but then Manny just didn't feel any kind of will to need to push Bottom or need to kind of keep him alive, and he just kind of ended up voting him, and he didn't even try to push on Jess, right? Or he didn't even try to push on Pingers there towards the end and just kind of, whatever, we'll just go on bottom. And, to me, Manny just didn't really feel that either. And we talked about the Jess Manny pairing, right? We talked about Jess either fits with Pingers or Manny. And we talked about how Jess potentially may have been trying to fit with, trying to bust Manny there if needed to look good. But the main thing is, Jess and Manny kind of went at it. And then they kind of dropped it day one, right? They kind of had that interaction, that altercation day one where they kind of like fake push each other, right? We talked about in the very beginning of the game. Just kind of puts Manny, okay, you have been caught. And it was kind of one of those silly distancing things. And after that, they didn't really read each other as much. They kind of ignored. They kind of like did some pokes at each other, and then they kind of voted a little bit in the F5 or F6, but ultimately went off when it mattered most. And to me, this is kind of one of those games where Town just didn't lack cohesion. We saw Akane, Doomer posting a lot. Set was unable to get to the solve, and Artsy and Bottom had their own little snafu, and Bottom it seemed to have technical difficulties and seemed to be, tolerating Jess and was kind of in the wrong boat on that day too. So, it's just really sad how that went. And Pingers, obviously, Pingers was towny. I mean, he had some towny moments, I felt, at least that day one, right? He felt like he was trying to try hard, do well. And then he also, attempted to, make the plays needed to get Bottom over from his perspective. He felt like, okay, Nartzi flipped town, just kill Bottom. Bottom hard went for Nartzi, and that's fine. But again, you have to evaluate the other people, that like Jess, right? Her push there we talked about, and obviously, from Pinger's perspective, even if you're feeling Manny might be down, but like again, Bottom, I obviously understand that, but you have to look at the whole game state and kind of feel who else could be the Mafia. And look, I think Pingers did his best, and obviously from his perspective, you look at the Nortzy vote, you're like, okay, yeah, Bottom just has to go. And look, I don't blame him. I think Bottom was a Wolfie, and that's a fine play. But again, lack of Town cohesion, and it's just one of those games where it wasn't meant for Town. The Rand was a really good Mafia team. The PRs got unlucky, right? We talk about, Ratcon got night one, and not only that, an Oracle onto another PR. And then the Vig gift from the PR went to the Dead Town night one on Rat Parton. So Mafia did very well with the night kills, and the PRs were basically a non-factor. We talked about the Oracle went off, but it went off on the other PR, right? And so, just everything went right for the Mafia. And again, I think if you're Town and you're watching this, I think, you need to take a look at the mirror, kind of get a better understanding, and realize, hey, if I'm playing this game, I gotta work with my teammates. I can't just let go and be free and just kind of roam around and scum with these people, just push them willy-nilly and kind of have, a lack of empathy, because, these games are important, right? Everyone plays to win this game, and when people are just doing their own thing and kind of off, the Mafia are going to take advantage and just pick them one by one, and that's kind of what they did here. Just Manny did a terrific job of that. By the number, they got rid of on day one, actually, I believe it was Clouds. That's right. I mean, they managed to get Clouds right. Manny got onto Clouds scot-free, right? Jess pushes no Artsy, gets scot-free, and Town are just focusing on the wrong targets, like pushing Bottom, which again I understand. Pingers was getting scumbered as well, which is understandable. But again, it's just one of those things where Town had to have more cohesion, and they just lacked that, and it was a lack of synergy. But again, this is important for Town, a good lesson to learn. Hey, work with my teammates, look through the reads, keep everyone accountable, right? Manny wasn't kept accountable for the Clouds push. Jess wasn't kept accountable for the Narsey push. And again, right, have the breath focus, right? Focus across and just know the players that you're playing with and understand the game state that you're in, right? Because especially the game state too, Jess is alive that day, and you're just thinking, well, it's in such a bad game state, it might just TMI Jess as Wolf, right? And so it's just kind of one of those things where people kind of have to be a little more aware of. But yeah, overall, well played by the Mafia, right? I don't want to take this away, but the Mafia played very well, and they did a really good job, dissecting the Town, just taking them apart bit by bit. And Jessica and Manny win this game. And we actually do have Jessica here in the VC. Jessica, really nice to be with you. Really great game. Kind of talk to me about how it felt beating the Town after the way they treated you that previous game. Did you feel any ill will to the Town that previous game where they quick hammered you? And did you feel like you wanted to give it to them and that this sweep felt had a little more to it? Can you talk to me a little about that? Yep, and just says, yeah, that's so true. I was motivated by spite and revenge. Um, Not actually, but I did feel very relaxed and vibey in a way that prevented me from being openly scummy. I think, yeah, and I think your day one was really good, and it's kind of funny. Just we talked about your ability to be very touty as Mafia, but sometimes you lax a little bit, and then it can appear scummy at times, or at least feel like you're just scummy on the surface because your POE and stuff is wolf sided. But again, it's just amazing to see how you guys as Mafia tend to play differently and still come up with the W and still find a way to maneuver around in the third state. So it's great. And yeah, the nicknames are great. The Pink Jessica, that is a new one. We have Stedinger, we have, Akane Chan, and, Manny the Villager. But again, it's one of those things where I think, they gotta, Town gotta be more aware for next game and stuff like that. But, anyways, I want to thank you guys all for watching. This is another Mafia Universe Turbo commentary game. This was a Mafia stomp. Jessica and Manny, congrats to them. We'll see you all in the next one. Peace.